Alright, guys, I'll say it. You guys know how I am about these shows and how I am about just about every TV show I watch. When it's bad, it's bad, and when it's good, it's good. I'll say it's shit if it's shit, and if it's good, great, awesome, I will not be sad or mad if I have to go one episode without ranting. And I have to say it's good. And this was a damn good episode of SmackDown Live. If I do say so myself. This was the June 19th of 2018 edition of SmackDown Live, and I thought it was good. And let's review it. I thought this episode was worth reviewing. Now, you guys know I don't review SmackDown or Raw. So if I do a review for SmackDown, it must be either really fucking bad or really good. And this was really good. Alright, enough of me saying it was good. I'm pretty sure you heard me saying enough. Let's get into the review. So we first start off the show with a Carmella-bration. I believe that's what they called it last time. It wasn't called that this time, but I'm just going to call it Carmella-bration. Where she came out like, I've fought through past insecurities in my life and self-confidence issues, and I just want everyone in the crowd to know that if you're ever going through those type of issues, just know that Mella is money or some shit. You know, she was gloating about her win against Asuka. Says she did it all by herself. Then Asuka came out, but it only wasn't Asuka. It was not Carmella Ellsworth, James Ellsworth, and he was talking about how Carmella is the best, Carmella #1, all this type of stuff. And I guess it's nice to see James Ellsworth back on SmackDown, back with Carmella, and I just don't really understand why James Ellsworth needed to come back and be paired with Carmella. I mean, not saying that their pairing doesn't work, it does, but I don't know. I guess it's cool, you know. However, what I did not find cool was what came after that. This might be the only bad thing I have to say about this episode. So Asuka comes out. Asuka comes down to the ring, storms down to the ring. No, years away, you know, when she does the dance. None of the dance, none of the rope. She came down to the ring and got in the ring, and she's smack talking Carmella. She's trying to get all up in her face, and then James Ellsworth jumps in front of her. And now James Ellsworth and Asuka are jaw-jacking each other, and Asuka does a spinning back fist, knocks James Ellsworth down, and Carmella hits her with a super kick to the face, knocking Asuka out. And as they scurry away from Asuka, she starts to get up. I am just so fucking angry. This makes me so angry about where Asuka was 2 years ago, a year ago, in NXT. She was the best part about NXT. She was undefeated in NXT. She was the NXT Women's Champion for over 400 and such days. She gets caught up to Raw, and I was scared. I was so scared when she got caught to Raw that they would ruin her. And while she didn't get the same, you know, treatment that she got in NXT, she got close enough to it. She was booked as a star on Raw. She ran through the roster. She won the Women's Royal Rumble match. And she decides to go after Charlotte. Now, I was like, okay, obviously they're building up to Asuka beating Charlotte at WrestleMania, finally capturing the SmackDown Women's Championship. She's been on the NXT Women's Championship for that long. Why wouldn't they put the title on her? I mean, I don't think it would make sense for her to win the Women's Royal Rumble match, have all this build-up as she loses. But no, they have Charlotte beat her. Now, I wasn't too angry about it, because I always said if there was anyone who was going to beat Asuka, my #1 choice would be Ember Moon. But I would buy Charlotte beating her. Anyone else, I wouldn't buy it. Charlotte did it. I was like, okay, I guess. Then we get this booking of Asuka after WrestleMania, and it was just horrible. Not only did it seem like she did not want to go after the Women's Championship, but she was just booked as another person on the women's division. Then we get this feud with Carmella, and I instantly tell myself, Don't fall for it. She's not going to win the championship. She's not going to win the championship. But my heart's saying, no, she's going to do it. She's going to win the championship. She didn't beat Charlotte. And Carmella is not as good as Charlotte. She beat Charlotte for the championship by cash-in. So, common sense to tell you, Asuka's going to beat her. But I'm like, no, don't believe it. She's going to lose. They're not going to invest in Asuka. Why? Because she's Japanese. She's small. She's not what they want picture as a top superstar. Don't invest in Asuka, is what I was starting to tell myself. And I don't know why I was telling myself that. I've been such a huge Asuka fan for the past 3 years. Why all of a sudden was I telling myself, don't invest in Asuka? And I refuse to listen to that thought of don't invest in Asuka on SmackDown Live. I went into Money in the Bank, and I had this idea that Asuka's going to win, but the closer and closer we got to the match, I started to say, Carmella's going to win this match. I don't know how, even though I saw the reports of James Ellsworth being on Carmella's side. I don't know how, but she's going to win this match. And what do you know? Not only did Carmella beat Asuka, but she pinned Asuka. Asuka was pinned for the first time ever. Asuka was pinned by Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This is her second title match. Her second title match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and she was pinned by Carmella and tapped out by Charlotte. What the fuck? How the fuck do you go that far? Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not even going to get into it. I am so fucking tired of investing in these NXT wrestlers once they get called up to main roster, and only for them to be fucking... Oh my god, I'm getting so angry. You know what? I'm going to make a separate video for that. I'm getting very frustrated with this shit. This is making me so... Alright, I need to calm down there. Okay. I'm good, guys. I'm gonna skip past that segment because that made me very fucking angry. We then get to Becky Lynch versus Billy... Oh, nope. Not a good time. I'm gonna skip that segment. Becky Lynch won. Okay, so then we get to the Usos versus Sanity. Sanity finally makes their main roster debut after 2 months of them being drafted up to SmackDown Live and them figuring out, oh, well, you know, let's finally put them on TV for some reason. You know, let's wait a few months after people have forgotten about Sanity to put them on television. But they finally come on TV. They make their debut against the Usos. Match never starts because Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, and Eric Young lay waste to the Usos, lay them out, and tower over them. And that's how they make their debut on SmackDown Live. Nice debut, I guess, for them. Do I see a bright future for these guys? I want to say I do. But it's hard to invest in these wrestlers who come from NXT anymore. Very, very hard. We then get on to the next match. The Bludgeon Brothers versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Not a bad tag team match. I expected the Bludgeon Brothers to win, and they did. They won the match, and I guess they move on to whoever is going to face them next. I don't really see a reason for Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows to face the Bludgeon Brothers again if they've lost twice. But then again, Shinsuke Nakamura failed 4 times against AJ Styles. So I wouldn't put it past them to have them face off for the tag team championships once again, only to lose. But, like I said, not a bad tag team match. Actually, I would say it was a pretty decent. And, yeah, Bludgeon Brothers retain. We then get to the number 1 contenders gauntlet match with Big E, Rusev, The Miz, Samoa Joe, and Daniel Bryan, where the winner will challenge AJ Styles for the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules on July 15th. This was a really good gauntlet match. Was it on the level of Raw's gauntlet match for a few months ago? I don't think it was on that level, but I would say this was a really good match. We started off with Big E versus Daniel Bryan, and they had a pretty good battle. You know, Big E's a very talented guy. I think he's going to have a great future as a single star. Daniel Bryan, you all know he's just amazing at what he does. And I will say, when he first came back, I was very scared that Daniel Bryan might get hurt. And there's always that possibility that Daniel Bryan might get hurt. And you know what? The second he gets hurt, they're probably not going to put it back in the ring again. But ever since he's came back, he's been working at this pace that he usually does, and he's been doing a damn good job at it. So I will give credit to Daniel Bryan. Really good match. Daniel Bryan successfully defeats Big E after locking him in a submission. Wait, no. My bad. I'm thinking of a different outcome for a different match. After hitting a running knee onto Big E. He successfully eliminates him for the gauntlet match. Then Samoa Joe comes out. I was pretty excited for this. Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan, they had a bit of an encounter before, but never really a full-on match. And now they're having a full-on match here and now. Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe went at it. They went outside the ring. After this, what am I talking about? Yeah, they went outside the ring. Samoa Joe decided to lock in the coquina clutch on the Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan got out of it. I forgot what he did, but he got Samoa Joe down. Got it to the ring. Referee counted to 10. And he won by count out. Nice that they reserved a clean finish for a future date. Because I was hoping they wouldn't give us a pinfall or submission victory. When we could definitely see a future match like that. For, you know, a pay-per-view like SummerSlam or WrestleMania, or even just a regular pay-per-view, I guess. Bludgeon Brothers then came out and beat up Daniel Bryan, so I guess that's the next program for Daniel Bryan. Then The Miz came out, and it all made sense as to why the Bludgeon Brothers beating them up. They did not want to give away The Miz versus Daniel Bryan for free on television. The Miz comes out, capitalizes on the onslaught that the Bludgeon Brothers just laid on Daniel Bryan, and hit him with a skull-crushing finale. And laid out Daniel Bryan and pinned him. Eliminating Daniel Bryan from the gauntlet match. This was really good storytelling. They've been telling the story of Daniel Bryan and The Miz for over 2 years now. If you date back to NXT, the first season when Daniel Bryan was The Miz's rookie, they've been telling this story for 8 years. 8 years the story has been told, and I can't wait for it to climax at whatever pay-per-view it is, whether it be SummerSlam, the Rumble, WrestleMania. I'm going to try and make an effort to be there for when it happens. I don't know if they can, I know how they can extend it to WrestleMania, but I don't know if they're capable of extending it to WrestleMania, but I will hope that they can find a way to do that. If they could do it, if they want to do it to SummerSlam, that's fine. If they want to do it to Survivor Series, that's fine. If they would do it to Rumble, that's fine. I just want the story to climax to WrestleMania 35. I think that's the best place for it to happen, for the WWE Championship. We then get The Miz versus Rusev. This is actually pretty good as well. Rusev got The Miz down a few times. Miz tried to find his way out of it. I honestly thought The Miz was going to win this match. And we were going to see AJ Styles versus The Miz. However, I was completely shocked to see Rusev hit The Miz with a Machka kick and lock in the accolade, and The Miz tapped out. Yes, guys, Rusev is your #1 contender for the WWE Championship, and I was just on cloud 9. I was shocked. I did not think that Rusev would ever get a WWE Championship match. It seemed like they were high on Rusev, following the Rusev Day thing, and it seems like the Rusev Day shtick has died down, which is all WWE's fault. They purposely did that. I will not sit here and tell you that, oh, it was because Rusev wasn't popular enough, was it because Rusev was enthusiastic enough? Now, WWE fucked that up, and they made the Rusev Day shtick watered down. Not saying that it's not still a thing, it's just not as high as it once was, that's all. But Rusev won this match, crowd went hype, I went hype, as we finally knew that Rusev could possibly be a WWE champion. Will he? I don't think so. But it is nice to see him receive a WWE Championship match. AJ Styles comes out, punches AJ English in the face, shakes Rusev's hand, and we go off air. This was a good episode of SmackDown Live. I did not want to rant, but that opening segment infuriated me. And it wasn't because it was a bad segment. It wasn't because it wasn't because it was a bad segment. It was just because it reflected on how WWE treats these call-ups, these NXT call-ups. They get treated and they are bred for the main roster only for them to get knocked on their ass and told no as soon as they get to the big leagues. I just can't. I just don't understand this, and I don't want to keep talking about it because the more I talk about it, the more it's going to make me angry, and the more it makes me not want to invest in these guys in NXT and not want to invest in these guys when they go to the main roster. But let that not take away from the fact that this is a good episode of SmackDown, and I would advise you guys to check it out if you have time. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Love you guys as always, and I will talk to you all later. Peace out.